Jason Pearson here, and I have here Chad from Nebraska, who just came on the program and finished it up here. Chad, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, great. So Chad's going to go over what his experience has been on the program, and then we'll wrap up the audio here. So Chad, when you found out about the program from some friends, and I think they're telling you all about it, so you must have asked questions at all. Were you skeptical of the program?
Very. So, I mean, you never really think that, okay, just by diet alone gets you down to your ideal weight. So, I questioned it a lot first, for sure. And I knew it took me months before I actually even, from the time that I talked to you to the time that I actually started the program, I think I contacted you first time in January.
Yeah.
and then started it in June. So it took a while.
So you're still skeptical during that time too?
Yeah. Yeah, between the two, I'm like, this is like too good to be true, like everyone else is toting this whole, lose 10 pounds and, all this time, this little bit of time and do all those kind of things and blah, blah, blah. And you're inundated with all these diet plans and stuff like that. And so you're like, when someone says, yeah, I lost all this weight, you think diet plan. And that's where your brain goes to because of how everything's marketed. And so it took a while for me to kind of just get to the place. And I think it's when I was like completely overweight and just said, okay, it's either this or, a pill, and so it's just like, better learn,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there you go. So you after that you contacted me and I got you on the program and then you started. And how was your experience in the first few weeks of the program in the first month?
Let's go to the first 2 days.
Right? The first 2 days, okay.
The first 2 days, my housemate looked at me and goes, "You look like Dad." And you're like, because like you're eating like just like salad mixture and beets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this another second. And like, but it was like keeping the end goal in mind. But like as things progress, and you're kind of going through and more foods are introduced and newer foods, like, mind you, when you introduce cottage cheese, like my heart, fluttered a little bit. I was just like, cottage cheese, like it's heaven. And I think that's kind of like, and as like when we got the chicken, it was like, chicken? I can have chicken now?
Yeah.
So there is that moment of like, I think like, if you're a person who sits there and like don't have the willpower to commit, like you're probably gonna look at the first 2 days and go, nope. Like, but like you get through it and you feel a lot better. You feel, I had more energy. And mind you too, like I don't think I might have told you this before, but like I lived off of Monster drinks. Like that's what kept me going throughout the day. And so I was like skeptical too, walking in, that I was gonna, like, I'm gonna be tired all the time. I'm not gonna go back to work, like I'm all these different things. And no lie, like I think the first 2 days was like your body is just like in chaos and going, okay, you're tired, you're awake, you're tired, you're good, so there's all this fluctuating. And then like 4 or 5, like everything evened out, and I've had no sugars, no energy drinks, nothing like that since, and have not had a problem.
Wow. So you probably found you have even energy throughout the day into the evening, and if I say that, it's kind of go to bed, and then you're like, oh, I can go to sleep right away.
Yep. And literally, like, I used to put Netflix on and kind of just would watch a movie to kind of like unwind at night and stuff, and now it's like I literally will put something on just as noise, and I'm out within 5 to 10 minutes. Like, there's no like, let's watch a movie. It's like I'm gone. So
and you probably wake up in the morning really well rested.
well rested completely, and a lot earlier than I used to.
Oh,
So
yeah.
before I was waking up about 8, and now it's 5:30.
Yeah. Let's see something else. Let's see if you notice too. If you notice this, I know you own your own business, so you're doing stuff throughout the day. Did you notice any difference in your concentration level, your thought, thinking, and everything else?
Yeah, like like I would always say that energy drinks would, like, it helps me focus and keep my attention and stuff. And I think now I have energy throughout the day, but like what used to take time for me to get to the energy point before, like I always be like, don't talk to me before 10 o'clock. Like, I'm not a habit person. I'm not a morning person. Now, most of my work is done before 10 o'clock.
Wow.
So like when I get to the afternoon, like all the major things that I had to have all that focus and attention on that would take me all day to do before is now done before 10. And then I move into a different world of my business, you know, and not having to, you know, focus on like the hard stuff all day, you know. So I'm knocking it out a lot quicker.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. What else have you noticed? What else have you noticed with the program? Positive things you've gone through.
We talked
or enhancements into your life.
Yeah. So like this has jump started a lot of new habits, and because it's so rigid in a lot of areas of, you know, you get up, you go to the bathroom, you weigh yourself, you eat breakfast, you know, start your day, you know, like, and you have this rigid thing, eat every 3 hours, you know, like that kind of stuff. It's a habit in itself that you're building, but then other habits started to form along with that. So like I would never make my bed in the morning. So now I make my bed a new habit that I had, you know, like now I've introduced exercise and I'm running. So now, you know, early in the morning I'm running first thing in the morning. And so all these new habits have started to form. Old habits that I would do, I no longer have, right? So like you'd go out with friends and you'd have a drink. I have no, like, when you're on this, you're not drinking, you know, you can't have coffee, you can't have tea, you can't have, you know, no alcohol, no sugars, no, like, so the social aspect of going out to do these things has changed, and two, it's drastically helped because I stay more focused in the areas that I need to stay focused in, and then when I go out and hang out, but I don't have alcohol to do that, I don't have sodas to do that, you don't, you know, socialize around food. Like food is fuel, right? And so the mindset has changed of, it's not a casual thing that we're going out and having 16 meals, you know, before the actual main course. You know, you're eating what you need to energize you, and then if you don't need it, you don't eat it.
Wow,
so that's drastically changed.
That's powerful. And how much weight did you lose?
30 pounds.
Great.
And yeah, so it was dropped pretty quick.
That's awesome. I actually said lose. I usually never use the terminology lose because it seems like when somebody loses something, they have to find it again. So
I don't want to find this again.
Yes, I usually, you know, in terms of weight, I say shave. How many pounds do you shave off?
Yeah, I shaved a good 31 something pounds off is what I shaved off.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, can you tell a difference just walking around every day? You know, 30 pounds is like, what is that like? That's like a 5-year-old that you carry around every day.
Oh my gosh,
24 hours a day.
It's ridiculous. Like you never really think about it because, I was in Massachusetts and running mountains and stuff like that there, and it's just like you're sluggish, you're clunky, if that's a good terminology to use. Like you're not smooth and fluid. You're just thunk, 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 you know, when you run. And now when I'm running, I'm gliding. You know, it's just like there's this. It's easier on the joints. It's, you know, it's a completely different feel. Let alone that, you know, the clothes that I had were a size 36 waist, and I fit into that pretty well. You know, and now I'm in a size 34 and they're loose, you know, and they're skinnier jeans too, and the skinnier jeans are loose.
Oh,
like, so it's like you're going like, I mean, literally the pants that I wore when I started were very, very tight on me, and now they're like very loose on me. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go out and get new clothes. Like, shoot, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I lost a lot off of me. And some people look at me and go, make sure you don't wither away, like, because you're losing quite a bit there. But it feels good. So I'm still working towards, you know, a weight, but it's not necessarily about the weight. It's about the health.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And that's the key thing.
It's funny they said don't wither away, but they didn't say anything when you had the other excess weight on you at all.
Yeah, right? You look healthy.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm not healthy, though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, took off my shirt, you go, not that healthy.
Yeah, exactly. And would you, so for people maybe listening to this audio right now, I mean, would you suggest this program for other people? I mean, if they have to lose weight, or maybe if they have some health issues too?
Health issues, if they just want to lose, I mean, if they just want to lose 10 pounds, whatever. But I think, you know, whatever the goal is, like, it literally is, and mind you, again, like, I was filtering through, you know, weight loss diet plans, you know, of, like, when we first talked of, like, okay, this is just a new clever diet thing, but it literally is like resetting how you think about food and resetting like your body to say, okay, this is the healthier, this is how you were designed to treat food, and that designing of treating food, this is how you need to eat it. And so it's not just I'm going to lose 10, 15 pounds. It's literally like, this is how you were created to do this. And so we're going to get you back to that so you can live a healthy life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think too, like, I think it was you and I that were having this conversation, but, you know, I'm 36 this year in like a month. And so I'm 4 years away from 40. And so it's getting more difficult to, you know, I would put on weight easy, you know, because I'm not as active. I'm sitting at a desk, you know, 12 hours a day or longer. You know, and so, you know, you retain some of that. I wasn't eating consistently. I was, you know, I'd go without, you know, I'd maybe eat one meal a day or something. And so my body wasn't adjusting well. And
oh, yeah.
You even were like, hey, once you hit 40, this is going to be really difficult. Like, get this under control now. I think that's part of it, too, of that kind of pushed me over the edge was, as I got older and as I'm getting older, it's going, I want to make sure that I'm healthy for longevity and thinking long-term rather than short-term. So yes, I could have a pizza short-term, but long-term, is that going to be really beneficial for me? And
yeah,
so switching that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And for somebody who's listening to this audio right now, they're skeptical like you initially were plus for like 6 months, you're skeptical, 5 months, whoever it is. What would you tell them right now?
Just do it. Get over your skepticism. And it's like, I think too, like, you kind of look at it and it was like $400. That's, you know, a lot, or whatever it is, right? And you're going like, shoot, that's a lot of money, and to take a risk. And it's like, listen, you could you're going to lose $400, right? $400 and nothing happens, which, you know, something's going to happen, first of all. Or you could just not spend the $400 and stay the way you are and continue to, you know, have health problems, or, you know, continue to be overweight, or not reach your goals, or, you know, struggle for 2 years thinking that you can do it on your own. All these types of things. And I think the big thing is, like, you're having someone who understands the process, understands food, understands, you know, that nutrition is key, and then walks alongside you with it, you know, and keeps you accountable. I mean, I could probably, I think there was a couple days too where I was like, I want pizza. Like,
yes, I remember that.
I want a hamburger. Like, I want chocolate cake. Like, and there's days where I was just discouraged, where, like, I think there was a couple days where I didn't lose any numbers off the scale. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm doing everything right. And then the next day I like dropped a pound, you know, just like, and I'm like, I didn't change anything. I didn't eat less or eat more. Like, I didn't change anything, and my body just clicked down to a notch. And so, and it's just a constant of, hey, you're doing all right. Like, I'm only expecting this, and you're exceeding that, so you're still okay. You know?
Yeah.
So it is that like encouragement along the way, and somebody to sit there and walk alongside you, saying, hey, you got this. Like, it's all right, you know. And knowing too, like, you weren't worried about the 0.2 drop or the 0.3 drop. You're like, yep, okay, good, you're excellent. You know, like, there was no this like concern of like, you're not doing what I need to do or you need to do or anything like that. You're doing it. You're good.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And compared to you said you're looking at other diet programs. I don't know if you've ever been on any other diet programs or in your research when you're comparing to other diet programs. Why did you, in your comparison to your research, plus maybe what you might have ever done before, why did you still choose to go with me?
Because I think, like, other things, you don't have the accountability. And I think that's the key. And I think, too, like, a lot of people, like, if you have, like, a local, like I think now the grocery stores are doing it, like, nutrition things. But they're really not thinking. I think what clicked for me, I'm trying to, like, formulate this properly, is it was the long-term thinking, right? It wasn't like, hey, eat this for this amount of days and you're going to lose this amount of pounds and you're going to be great and you'll fit in that dress or you'll fit in that suit again, you'll fit in the clothes that you had before and whatever, and then you can go back to eating what you had before. That wasn't the mentality. The mentality was, this is long-term thinking, and I think, especially when I'm in my business, you have to think long-term. And if you only think short-term, then you're not going to succeed. And so I think diet plans, you know, quick weight loss, you know, the pill crap, or go join a gym and work your butt off and sweat all these hours but continue eating what you eat, you know, all that stuff is short-term thinking and isn't longevity in the whole picture. You may lose a few pounds here and there, but long-term you're going to put it right back on because your habits hasn't changed. And this was resetting the habit, and I think that's the thing where it kind of sparked inside of me going, this is the way to do it, and so I would recommend that over any other diet.
Absolutely. And did I give you any supplements or potions or pills or anything else, or was it all
there's this
regular?
blue pill that, no, I'm just kidding. They literally, like, there was nothing. There's nothing. Well, there was something magical that you gave me. It was water with lemon. Yes.
There you go.
It was like the key ingredient to success is a ton of water. Like, I think that, seriously, I mean, like, was there a magic potion pill? Yeah, there's water. Like, stuff that God gave us to drink in the first place. No, I think it was just you had a plan of action, a plan of attack, and you knew exactly where you wanted me to go with it, even though I had no clue where you were wanting me to go. And, you know, you kind of go 2 days and then 2 days and, you know, 2-day meal, 2-day meal plan, and then a 5-day meal plan, and you're going like, okay, what's next? And you want to, because I think naturally we want to jump ahead. And go, oh man, next week we get chicken, so I'm just gonna have chicken now. You know, like, that's the mentality. But you sit there and, like, you're like, a day before, email me for the menu, because then it's like you can't jump ahead. You know, so you had the plan of where you wanted me to be, and you took the time to formulate that and know what that is, and base it off of me, and say, okay, I don't like this. I mean, if there was one time I was like, I'm getting sick of fish, but it's just like, no more, please. And then you introduce chicken. I was like, yes, chicken. You know? And I think that's the part where, like, you know where we're going, and I was no longer captain of the ship. You know, like I had to bow to that and trust that you had my end goal in mind, and you so did. And I think that's
awesome.
the key.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So, last thing here. Did you give me 1 second here. So, with the price charge, do you think the program's well worth the price that I charge? You think I overcharge, or you think I'm not charging enough?
Dude, like, I totally think it's worth it. Like, the hard part for me to swallow was the initial fee. Mm-hmm. But looking back at it now, you go, it was totally worth it. And I think part of that too, again, it goes back to that whole marketing plan, right? That mm-hmm. everyone sits there and says, lose this amount of weight for this cost. And so we always think like, oh, well, other people are doing it for this amount, so why is this more expensive, and da-da-da. Like, mm-hmm. you make up excuses for whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think in this sense, it was just like, initially it was like, man, that's okay, cool, that's mm-hmm. okay, let's see if I can do that. But then it was just like, okay, this is my health that we're talking about, you know, like, mm-hmm. we spend that alone in our own feeble attempts to get dieting, or we spend that amount of money on medications, or we spend that amount of money on doctor visits. I mean, if you were to look at me back in 2008, I was on FMLA, you know, mm-hmm. clinically depressed, and all these different things. And so, like, you have that kind of stuff there, and I was spending thousands of dollars into something, you know, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because my body wasn't healthy. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at the fee, you're like, this is really, again, longevity and long-term thinking, like, this is worth it, you know, and anyone who's on the fence is just like, again, I say, just get over it, just do it.
That's awesome.
So,
all right. Well, you heard from Chad there. Definitely, if you're thinking about it or interested, definitely get back with me, and so I can evaluate you and tell you what I can do for you, and do it. Again, thank you very much, Chad, for coming on here today, and then we'll talk to you soon.